time to manage my symptoms. And once I got myself upright and out of bed, I decided to ride my bike from Denver to Columbus, Ohio last year. So Dave drove a support van, I rode an e-bike, and we accomplished the whole trip, and it went over really well. Out of that became a book, and we wrote our memoir about the trip. It's called On the Vertigo, One Sick Man's Journey to Make a Difference.
All right.
It could be found on Amazon.
All right, very cool. So not only did you get up and out of bed, you then got on the bike and rode, how far is that?
1,400 miles.
1,400 miles from here to Columbus. What's your ties to Columbus? Is that where you're from?
That's where we're from, yep.
All
from
right.
where I live now to where I grew up.
Oh,
So
very
we ended
cool.
up in a suburb of Westerville, which is outside of Columbus.
And who was in Westerville when you got there?
My father, my mother, my brother, all the friends and family that I, left behind when I came out here. And I've been in Summit County and Silverthorne for over 20 years now. I'm a local hardcore.
Great. And tell me a little bit more about Meniere's. Like you said, you've had it for 8 years, so it was like a late onset sort of thing. Not something you were born with.
Yeah, usually the average people, the age average is right around mid-40s when you attract Meniere's disease, and I was 45 9 years ago. I'm 54 now. And it's an inner ear disorder, and it causes major ringing in my left ear. I'm deaf in my left ear. I have balance issues. I have hypercosis, which is sensitive to sound. I have sensitivity to light, and my balance is just horrible. So riding a bicycle is not the easiest thing to do. So I figured if I could pull this off, then it might raise some eyebrows, and it sure did. And we ended up with a really good social media following by the end of the first trip, and it turned into the book, and now it's turning into another adventure.
Yeah, very cool stuff. Now, how does it develop? Where does it come from? Or is it something that people aren't quite sure where it comes
That's
from?
the mystery of most vestibular disorders, but especially with Meniere's disease, there's no cause and there's no cure. And it's such a rare disease, there's also not a whole lot of research being done for it. So I'm just trying to do my part to give other people like me hope, for one, and also raise some money for research, because that's what it has to, something has to be done. And nothing's being done, and it's just a very rare disease that doesn't make a lot of money. Our last bike trip, we made over $10,000 towards research, and that was fantastic.
All right, great.
San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely. Ride number 2 years in a row now. How far is this one?
1,400 miles.
Another 1,400.
Yep.
All right, keeping it consistent.
Keep
at
it
least for now.
consistent. At least I know I can get that far.
Yeah, there you go. 1,400's good, but 1,500 might be a little too much.
Yeah.
Well, why San Francisco then this time? Why the destination change?
Well, I did. I went east, and this time I decided to go west, and I wanted a trip that was a comparable miles, because I know I can do the 1,400 miles, and it's a good length to test myself. Part of the reason I do these bike trips is because I shouldn't be able to do these bike trips.
Okay.
Physically, I shouldn't be able to, and mentally, I shouldn't be able to, but doing these bike trips and doing that kind of miles pushes myself to do things that I shouldn't be able to do. So when I accomplish it, it's a huge accomplishment, and it gives a lot of people hope to maybe get out and walk around the block, or maybe go for a jog, something that people with my illness haven't done in years and years and years. So I just try to inspire people to be the best person they can with a debilitating disease.
All right. Yeah, and I've talked to folks over the years that have done stuff similar to that, where they've gone on big rides or big runs or something else like that, just to show people that, you can make it happen. How did it feel when you guys showed up in Columbus?
It was amazing. I actually didn't have a whole lot of fun on the ride because I was so stressed, and so many people on social media started following us that I was afraid to fail, and I was like, oh my gosh. And when we left, I didn't think I'd make it to the border of Kansas. And then next thing you know, we're through Kansas and through Missouri and through Indiana. And when we got there, it was like the weight of the world just dropped off. And I was so relieved and happy that we accomplished it. And we got kudos from a lot of people around the world. And it made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. And that's what it meant to me. It was like seeing people commenting and saying, hey, you inspired me. And it's not patting myself on the back. It's just I want to inspire people. That your life is not over with a chronic illness.
All right, yeah. Yeah, we hear social media, lots of people love to, hate on social media because there's lots of hate out there, but there's also lots of good stuff out there too, yeah?
Oh yeah, some people, they're it's not all positive feedback, but it mostly is. And it's connected me with a ton of other projects from doing that. And when the book came out, I ended up being cast in a a 6-part documentary series that Amazon has on Amazon Fire. It's on the Disorders channel, and it's called The Life Rebalanced Chronicles.
Okay.
And it follows 9 people with vestibular disorders over this summer. And they're putting them out once a week for the next 6 weeks, and it's already started. So it's really cool. It's opened doors to do bigger and better projects that bring more awareness to Meniere's disease.
Cool. I'm guessing that you've seen the documentary already?
I've seen the first 2 episodes. That's it. That's all that's been out so far. And there's 4 more to go. But I'll be on my trip for the rest of them, so I'll have to find some Wi-Fi somewhere so I can catch up.
Yeah, you have to catch up at some point. All right, very cool.
They come out on YouTube now. They're on YouTube also. If you go to Veda or Unfixed Media, you can the YouTube versions are there. If you don't have Amazon Fire.
Very, very cool. All right, well, Steve, best of luck to you guys. And Dave going to be joining you this time around too?
Dave is going to be driving the support vehicle. My wife's going to be riding her bike with me on this trip, which is new news, and that's going to be exciting. So, but Dave is my backbone, so he'll be there the whole time, making sure I get there alive, hopefully.
All right. Yeah, I got no doubt that you will, and that it's